Several days have passed since the loss of Poe. Only one of Lichen's whelps remain. She is diligent, watching over the young male as she constantly hunts small animals to feed him. Lichen has been hiding him well, and we have only caught glimpses of them in the dense forest. In this clip, we notice something peculiar about the whelp. His eyes are bright red. This is a strong indicator that he will be albino once he sheds his juvenile coat. We see the two of them again even further north. Lichen gifts her son a small stick, which he accepts with a dance. Lichen absolutely adores him. Despite her rough start as a mother, she has learned quickly what it takes to safely rear her young. Here she calls over the whelp, encouraging him to dig and flush out a hiding critter. The whelp crouches in preparation to pounce, and Lichen sways back and forth to drive the small mammal into her offspring's waiting jaws. He dispatches it quickly with nips and a final swipe of his claws. Lichen praises him with trills and chuffs. Ever observant, Lichen scans the tree line for threats as her son eats. Disguising their scent by rolling in flowers is a crucial part of Uteranus behavior. As we know, Lichen is particularly fond of yarrow, and shows her son how to coat his feathers in its fragrance. Pleased, Lichen takes the young male back into the cover of the trees, with one final shake of her coat, which he astutely mimics. A patch of red ginger doesn't compare to the faded yarrow, earning the patch a single shake as they walk through. Lichen takes a moment to sing and dance, bonding with her son, who we have decided to call Narcissus. The young male's coat has continued to lighten as his juvenile coat sheds out. He's growing quickly, which is wonderful, since a pale coat brings much unwanted attention. Lacking camouflage, and being too small to defend himself, Narcissus is lucky to have such a fierce mother. But as fierce as she is, Lichen is starving. She has only eaten what little her son hasn't consumed of the small critters they've been hunting. She takes him from the cover of the trees, skirting around the cave where the Allosaurus pair found Poe in the south of Darkwoods. The two Uteranus enter whistling columns, searching for prey. What they don't know is that they may soon become prey themselves. Lichen and Narcissus haven't had any luck finding prey. She teaches Narcissus to use caution here, crouching and scanning for threats. Thirsty and smelling the old remains of a carcass, Lichen dares to enter the open springs. The water here is rich with minerals, but can be dangerous with the lack of cover. What's left of the carcass is little more than dried bones. Lichen can't afford to be choosy. She risks starvation if she refuses this meal. Her powerful jaws crush the brittle bones into manageable pieces to swallow. Narcissus spots something in the distance, but Lichen is too hungry to look up. That is until he moves. A Utahraptor clan. Their calls start the hunt. Faced with a cliff, it seems like Lichen and Narcissus will be forced to face the raptors. But Lichen knows this area well. She calls her son to follow her down a treacherous path. The clan isn't far behind. There's no time for them to stop. They have to make it to the river and cross back into the thick forests of Darkwoods. They make it to the river, having lost the raptors in the trees. But Narcissus is tired from the sprint. He sinks below the water in his exhaustion. Lichen is frantic on the bank, unable to help her son. She starts to swim out to him, but she's exhausted too. Narcissus is determined, his head breaking the water with desperate gasps for air as he climbs shakily onto the shore. He collapses into the cover of the brush, trembling from the ordeal. Lichen curls up with him to warm his soaked coat and rest. They can't stay here though. Lichen shakes and nuzzles him, encouraging Narcissus to his feet. Little do they know that the danger is far, far from over. Rattled by the Utahraptor clan, Lichen and her son seek refuge in the dense woods. A Lichen startles them, but what they don't know, and will soon find out, is that it wasn't alone. A trio of the terror birds descend from the rocks, circling them. Ignoring their roars, the Kelicans target Narcissus. Lichen snaps at one. It darts by at the same time Narcissus runs in, accidentally biting her son's tail and wounding him. He has never seen a fight and is inexperienced. As seen when Lichen hobbles one of the Kelicans. A well-timed bite momentarily cripples the bird. Before Lichen can finish it off, Narcissus runs in and gets between his mother and her target. The Kelican recovers and bolts out of reach. The battle is chaotic. The terror birds nip and slash at Narcissus every time Lichen turns away from him. Bite gravely injures one of the birds. Again, Narcissus is quick to dart in, but this time, he's able to finish off his target. Ravenous, Lichen immediately devours some of the meat, momentarily forgetting about the remaining birds. Thankfully, they scatter once they no longer outnumber the Tyrannosaurs. Lichen and her son finally have a decent meal. Narcissus takes a trophy from the fallen Kelican, watching as his mother consumes nearly all of the carcass. Their hunger sated, but to take a moment to bond as they heal from the encounter. As harsh as this experience was, Gondwa is harsher. This fight will serve a Narcissus well once he reaches adulthood and sets out on his own. It is a bittersweet moment when we find Lichen and Narcissus. It is time for Lichen's son to disperse and set out on his own. After all the losses Lichen has faced, she is having trouble letting her only remaining offspring go. Narcissus watches as his mother swims back across the river into what was once her imposed territory. Lichen calls and paces, upset and torn between her warring instincts. She wants to go to Narcissus and continue watching over him, but knows that it is his time to start his own journey. Across the water, her son pauses in the trees. In the distance, he can see Lichen pacing. Narcissus mimics his mother's dance one last time and sets off into the unknown. Uranus are known for returning to their parents' territory to visit, so this is unlikely to be their last goodbye.